birds are singing, skies are blue. The world's awake, it's time for you. Start it right, you know it's true. Anson in the morning.
Anson in the morning. Do. What's going on, guys? Good morning. I'm Anson. It's morning. I'm here. You're there. Let's do this. All right. So as you see today, the title of today's episode is called Power Problems. And let me tell you why. I live in a very small town in the middle of nowhere, Northern California. We have, about 6,000 people that live here. I'm originally, come from Portland. I'm used to the big cities, and I really like the way that, everything in the cities work. We never lose our power unless something detrimental happens in Portland, right? Because all the power lines are buried underground. But here we live in the land of the great redwoods, right? It's all big and beautiful out here, and there's a lot of, 200-foot tall trees, and you'd think that they would do something better than run the power lines across the fucking trees. No, the minute it gets a little bit windy here and a branch falls on a tree, we're out of power for fucking 12 minutes. It's fucking crazy. And I'm just telling you guys, I'm about ready to run for city council of this stupid little fucking town just so I can make it so that they bury the fucking power lines underground, because us going out of power every single time there's a 40-mile-an-hour wind is getting ridiculous. I'm just sick of it. My kids and I have to sit around and talk to each other. What the fuck is that? I'm just kidding, guys. I love my kids. I love my kids, but the power outage shit is just crazy. Like, how can you run a city that's out of power, 4 times a month? There was a couple years ago where they shut our power down for almost a week because there were wildfires like 150 miles north of us, and they were afraid it was going to damage the wires. So what do? We're out of power for 4 days, and then they bring the generator trucks down to the power station, and they're pumping power to the city. Well, how about you got that all set up before you shut the power down? Right? Like, everybody, dude, nobody showered in this town for 3 days unless you're a fan of, freezing cold showers, because the power was fucking out. I'm in the middle. Now, listen, I'm just saying, I was in the middle of a game last night. My wife and I were playing a stupid game on Steam that you have to be connected to the internet for. Boom, power goes out. Well, that sucks. Now, our laptops still had full power. Like, the batteries were charged, our phones were charged. So I could still get some internet through my phone if I wanted to. That's cool. But why would I want to do that? It's an extra step. And then how long is the power going to be out? So I fucking trying to save my laptop battery and charging my phone off my laptop. No, you guys got to have the power lines over the fucking trees in a very tree-filled town. Bury the fucking things underground and get it over with, guys. We're sick of it. But that's not really... That's my first gripe, right? Because that's what Anson in the morning is. I like to bitch and complain a little bit, but the real truth is I got other shit to talk about. And today's topic is really TikTok. Guys, I don't know what to make of it anymore. Like, I'd go on there and I'd see a guy with the check mark by his name, and I'd be like, okay, this is so-and-so, and he's giving me some news or giving some information. But now I'm seeing these guys that I follow on other people's channels, and their names are user 68504267, 42168. Who the fuck are you, and why are you posting this guy's content to get fucking money? And if I need to reply or talk to the guy, like I like to do to some of these people, actually challenge them and work with them, I can't, because it's some fucking China streamer or wherever the fuck they are out of town. I can't get a hold of whoever. This is all bull. Or what's with the videos on TikTok that it's like, and anyway, Donald Trump collapses today in the Senate. No, he fucking didn't. No, he fucking didn't. Or the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is fired today by Donald. No, he wasn't. What's with the misleading fucking headlines? I'm going to watch your story if you tell me the truth. But when you start pissing me off, and then here's the thing. I call some of these fuckers out online. I'm like, why the fuck does your story cut off in the middle of it? Why do you show me 2 seconds of the video and then narrate the last 2 minutes of your fucking, of your TikTok? Why? Because it's bullshit. All of it is bullshit. And I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I'm about ready to fucking get off TikTok, get off Insta, get off all of it. The only reason I'm on them is because we do the show on all these platforms. But this is fucking ridiculous. It's not news. Or posting, okay, today is what's today's date? The 23rd of February. So it'll say 2/23/26, right? And then here's the news. And it's from 2 years ago. How dare you put the fucking date on somebody else's story to try to... Is it all about clicks and likes and views anymore? Is it not getting your opinion out and actually talking to the people? Or they'll be like, so anyway, this guy did this and this and that, and then the video's over and it starts over because they're wanting you to watch. So what's it do? It flips over again, so you get an extra view out of it. This is bullshit. Stop with this. If you guys are doing this, you're part of the online problem. You're like, oh, I don't know who to trust anymore. Yeah, because of you. You're like, oh, it's Donald Trump. I'm going to take over Twitter. It's going to be the best thing ever. We love Twitter, don't we? We love our Twitter. Twitter. It's not him. Fuck, it's not. I was watching a thing today with John Oliver talking about Twitter and how Elon's fucked up Twitter. It's not Elon fucking up Twitter, guys. It's you all. It's you all posting your garbage fucking stories that are, from 3 years ago, counting it as news, or your silly fucking misleading titles. Oh, Chuck Schumer passed out in Congress. No, he didn't. Shut the fuck up. Stop this. And what happened to the days when I could go onto TikTok and my algorithm was cats and baby monkeys? Because I don't know why I love baby monkeys. They're fucking cute. We'll talk about Punch in a minute because that's a thing. But I loved it. And now I can't see it anymore because all political shit from user 2344445 who's using, other people's content to make money off of. How come these people aren't suing the user 24222? I would. I'd be like, this is your cease and desist. Stop this shit. You're using my. If somebody posted Anson in the morning on TikTok with, and it was user or whatever or whoever, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I'm reporting you and I'm suing. I'm not suing you, but I'm going to get you a cease and desist for fucking sure. I don't know if these people don't care because it gets their message out more to the people, but it's not your account. It's not. Or when they're like, oh, this is part 1. Go to part 2 of this video. So you go to part 2. There's no part 2. Or they put them in the wrong order. So you have to go back to their profile. You have to go find part 2 or 3 because they're all mixed. These are tricks, guys. It's all media bullshit. And the minute you stop listening to the real fucking medias out there, get rid of it out of your life, maybe you'll be better because I'm about ready to fucking do it. The only reason I do it, like I said, is because we do the show, or all of our shows, Fat and Spicy and all that stuff. And it's convenient for us to get the message out that we want to get out. And that's stop putting up with the bullshit. Stop fucking around with this shit. Nobody gives a fuck about your bullshit news stuff. If we want news, and I want to say, if we want news, I'll go to fucking CNN or Fox or Al Jazeera. No, that doesn't even matter anymore either because their fucking websites are all screwed up. They're talking about news that's 4 fucking days old and even the big sites are doing it. So where do you get your news? I don't fucking know where you get your news. Like, I don't fucking know. But I don't want to do a hate podcast today because that's what seems to be that seems to be what Anson in the Morning really has become, is like this hate podcast about all this shit that I hate. And it's not. It's just that there's so many things to hate in this world. It's not hard to do. All right, let's get back to the other topics I want to talk about. First off, if you guys watched Thursday's Fat and Spicy show, you know that was the last Fat and Spicy show. Jacob and I are working hard to review the content, be a little bit more raw, a little bit more real, and we're going to change the title, change the themes. We're going to do a whole revamp of the show because what we were feeling is that when we were doing Fat and Spicy, we were playing the parts of Fat and Spicy. We were playing the parts of podcasters, not being podcasters, not being ourselves. And dude, if you want to do anything in this world, you just got to be your fucking self, right? I mean, unless you're an actor, because actors are paid to not be themselves. But you got to be yourself. And the more that we did Fat and Spicy, the more I'm like, I'm not being true to my content. I'm censoring myself. I'm not watching the way that I'm not doing the right research because we want it to be fresh and raw. That was wrong. I need to do more fucking show research. That's just a fact. What else? We need to get some guests. That's a big thing. I want some guests on the show. I'd like me and Jacob to interview some people, talk about what the fuck's going on. And if you guys want to be on any of these shows that we do, you can get us at fatspicy@gmail.com. Just take out the and. Fatspicy, PHATSPICY @gmail.com. You want to be on the show, we'll get you on here. I want to hear your opinions too, guys. See, that's the cool thing about doing fuck that ear thing. That's a cool thing about doing a show like this, is that I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not beholden to a network. I don't have to answer to nobody. If I want a guest that juggles kittens, I can do that as long as YouTube doesn't take us down, right? So that was the end of the Fat and Spicy show. It doesn't mean that Jacob and I aren't working together anymore. We absolutely are. In fact, we're going to have a business meeting hopefully today where we can sit and reform what we want the show to be, because that's important to us, right? Getting our opinions out. Plus, we're both broadcasters. I was raised in the radio field. I started working in radio before I was a junior in high school. And this is what I did. I did internships and I wanted to be on the radio. So we're not going to stop this, because this broadcasting thing, whether it's podcasting or doing a show or whatever, is our life. And I fucking love it. Plus, it gives me something to do while I'm a house husband. I take care of it. I just did this morning. What is it? It's 9:15. I've already swept and mopped and did last night's dishes, and those are all done, So what else have I got to do but Fat and Spicy or PNS Studios, and all the shit we do. Oh, yeah. Punch the monkey. You guys seen this? Punch the fucking monkey. This little monkey in Japan whose monkey parent or monkey mommy, I guess, didn't want him. Maybe he was an asshole. I mean, maybe he was just a dick. Maybe he was like, ooh, and the mom's like, I don't want to fucking hear it. Get the fuck out of here. And so he did. But now the other monkeys don't want him. If the mom didn't want him and the other monkeys don't want you, maybe you're just an asshole monkey. But they gave this thing a stuffed orangutan, and it sleeps with that because no other monkey wants to be around it. And that's cool, right? So we're all of our hearts are captivated by this fucking monkey. I'll tell you the truth. Honestly, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it's on my feed fucking every 10 minutes. So good for you, monkey. I hope you find whatever the fuck monkey shit you're looking for. But and is nobody mentioning the fact that his mommy named him Punch the monkey? Of course, these other monkeys are going to beat on him. Like I said, maybe he's an asshole. Maybe he was born an asshole, and these other monkeys just instinctually know it. They don't have anything to do with an asshole, so they kick him out. And now the world feels sorry for the asshole monkey. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't fucking know. I'm sure it's a sweet monkey. I'm sure he's a good dude. Whatever. So there's that. But really, guys, the thing that got me the hottest this week was all this Trump shit. And I know, Orange Man bad. Sometimes, but the bullshit's getting thick. That's the problem. You can lie. Go ahead and lie. You're a politician. You're supposed to lie. I expect you to lie. But when you don't know what you're lying about, that's what gets me. We're going to send these medical ships to Greenland. Yeah, they're dry docked in fucking Arkansas. They're going to be there for a year. How are you going to send them to Greenland? Why do you promise this stuff? Look, I want to give every politician in his right mind the shot. Even Trump. I was like, I told my father-in-law, who's dead set against this guy, I'm like, you know what? What if this works out? What if he does something? Okay, so he's going to do 50 shitty things, but what if one of those things was that one thing that saves our democracy? I wish I could see it, but I'm just not seeing it. It's just one thing at bluster. Cash Patel's over at the fucking Olympics celebrating with the team. Do I really care? No. I think that those kind of stories are just because you hate the fucking guy. You see Cash Patel with his eyes in the Congress and you want to hate him. Well, guess what? I'm a goofy looking motherfucker too, but sometimes I talk shit. But every once in a while, a nugget of truth pops out. So I want to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. But they dominate the news story 24/7. How come this didn't happen? The biggest scandal that we had with Barack Obama was he wore a tan suit or he flew a drone over Iran and killed a bunch of people. Well, every president does that, right? So I'm not mad at Trump for bombing Iran. I don't give a shit. Fuck the Iranians, dude. Honestly, if you guys are over there building nuclear weapons and talking shit about destroying my country, I want my military over there to do the fucking job. Cool. But then they lie about it. We destroyed 90% of their nuclear whatevers. No, we didn't. We got 3 of their factories out of 20 or out of 16. But you guys, go for it. Go bomb Iran. That's cool to me, right? Fuck these America haters with the nukes. But you don't have to lie about the consequences. Stop the lying. That's what pisses me off is that y'all talk shit. I'm talking the government, the current government. Y'all talk so much shit you don't even know what you said last week. I don't know this guy. We've never talked before. He's new to me. But there's pictures of you two together. I'm not talking Epstein. The Epstein files. Listen, let's talk about that for a minute. I don't give a fuck about okay, that's not true. Does it suck that a bunch of rich and powerful people hurt a bunch of young women? Abso-fucking-lutely. Not cool. Not cool. But can't the Senate and the Congress deal with this without it being are 24/7. Isn't there other things to focus on aside from, and I'm not a Trump lover. I don't like the guy. And it's not that I don't like the guy. I don't like the guy. I think he's a piece of shit personally. Now, his politics, whatever. He's got advisors that lead him, whatever. And I know no president really controls their presidency. That's just a fact. We all know that. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's all true. But I've always had this thing where, like, you become president and they take you into this room and they show you this reel that looks surprisingly like it was shot from a grassy knoll. And a guy in the shadows with a cigar says, "Are we clear, Mr. President?" And the president says, "Yes, sir." And then he leaves the room. That's what I really believe. I think they're like, if we can off this president, we can off you. So you're going to do what we fucking say. No president controls his presidency. But when you're out there tweeting all the fucking time and tweeting about celebrities and oh, this guy doesn't deserve the Academy Award because he hates me. Why do you do this? Like, this makes me not want to follow the things you say. And it's no wonder. You know, at least when you know, Obama was president, the only thing we heard about him talking was when he was on C-SPAN or the news or Fox or answering questions from reporters. You know, and fine. Look, you got opinions about people. You got opinions about your reporters and stuff. I would drop dead if a reporter asked me a question. I'm like, "Quiet, piggy." Are you kidding me? This is how you treat people? And people love this. Now, I get it. You love the loudmouth boisterism, right? He's something that's different in the world, something that we're not used to. And that's great. But running the country, I don't know. Just like, I'll be honest, guys, I don't want AOC as president because she's like Trump, but Democrat and female woman. And she's just as loud and just as obnoxious. AOC, shut the fuck. You know, you could be great. You could be one of the greatest political leaders. You know how to get people going. You understand, like Trump does. You understand the Twitterverse or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You understand where life and politics meet. You understand the separations of church and state. Cool. Shut the fuck up. Why do you have to scream all the time? Just like these TikTok people I was talking about earlier. Breaking news. Trump is that. Why are you yelling? Why are you fucking yelling? Or I can't believe Trump's Christine Home fired somebody for leaving their blanket on a plane. That's not funny. But you guys laugh because on your TikToks because you think it makes you look cool. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. You look like pieces of shit who don't understand the political theater. That's what you look like. Sorry, even my dog's pissed off. You can hear him bark, and he's like, "Fuck you guys with your TikToks and Twitters." So, you know, let me get some coffee. My throat's drying out. So how do we feel about these political sides, Republican and Democrat, in the world of the internet and Twitter, where everybody's got a voice all the time? Wouldn't it be better if, like, maybe the politicians just stuck to shutting the fuck up, answering a couple of questions on your early morning Sunday shows, maybe going on C-SPAN or MSNBC or fucking Fox or whoever, answering a few questions and going home? Why do you got to tweet about everything? Oh, I've got to engage with the American people. You've been engaging with the American people for 250 years in one way or another without having to share every intimate thought in your fucking life. And I think that's the problem, is that there's no filter on America anymore. Anything we feel or say, we throw online. I remember back when I was in school and my dad was, you know, I asked my dad, I was like, "Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for in the thing?" He's like, "Voting is a very private thing. You don't ask who you voted for in polite conversation, just like you don't ask what somebody's religion is in polite conversation, because you don't want to start these whatevers." And that's how I've grown up. But now everybody knows how everybody voted because they're all online talking about it. I'm blue, I'm red, I'm purple. I don't give a fuck what you. Why? Why do we have to do this? Do you have such a desire to be seen and heard, or is it about the money in the clicks? Because if it's about the money and the clicks, there's other ways to do it. This ain't the way, because this is the way that draws hate. Why can't you get clicks with kitten videos? If you want to steal somebody's content, like I'm watching this guy, Parnas, whatever, Aaron Parnas, I don't know. He's not the greatest journalist in the world, but he's okay, right? But he's one of those guys who gets excited over the headlines. This just in, Trump shut down in Congress today because, no, No, he didn't. But now, even now, everybody's copying this guy, and you're giving him an even bigger voice for his douchebaggery. So is this what we do? Like, what's the answer here? I don't know. I think the answer is personal. I think my personal answer is to stop looking at TikTok in the morning when I wake up and sitting on the crapper and getting worked up over Republican and Democrat news. Because frankly, it's all bullshit, either side. And it's frustrating. It's actually frustrating to see this. And like I said, guys, your TikTok etiquette when you're making content, like when you're like, oh, Donald Trump said this today, and then they cut the video off. Like right when there's 10 seconds left, they cut it off, hoping that you'll be like, oh, what happened to the rest of it? Let me see it again. No, it's just tricks. It's all media tricks. You guys all figured out how to jog the algorithm. So I can't trust any of you anymore. I just can't. Fuck y'all. You've literally turned me against all social media in the world. Now, I don't know if this is social media podcasting. I guess I'm the media. I guess I'm not reporting anything amazing. I'm more of like an op-ed piece in a shitty newspaper, you know. I don't have anything important to say. I'm just, arguing my point, but I don't have a point, really. That's the problem. But that's why I like Anson in the morning, because I don't have to have a point. I don't have to steal other people's content. I don't have to put shit up here that doesn't belong to me or do reporting that I didn't do. I can be on here and just be my fucking self. Look, I'm going to have a cigarette. Fuck y'all. YouTube says, oh, you probably shouldn't smoke cigarettes on your stream. Hey, guess what, guys? Because I'm done giving a fuck. And I think that's why we quit doing the Fat and Spicy show, because I had to give too many fucks. And I just don't give these fucks anymore. I just don't. I can't be myself. I see guys on TikTok or on the podcast that I watch, and they're smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and drinking beers and shit. And I'm like, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should let the algorithm figure out what's what. Fuck the algorithm. If nobody watches and I do this for me every day, cool. That's what I love. That's what I want. I want to be able to do this for me. I don't do it for you. I really don't. This is for me. This is something that, I don't know, it keeps me busy, keeps my mind occupied when I'm sitting at home all day, you know. But Anson in the morning, PNS Studios and Critical Idiots, we're all going to be here. Like I said, we just got to figure out what to do with Fat and Spicy. We're going to change that around, and we're going to be a little, like I said, a little more raw, you know, maybe a little bit more with the dirty jokes. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Jacob and I need to sit down and have a chat today or tomorrow about what the future of PNS Studios is. Well, that's not true. Not the future of PNS Studios, because we're going to keep doing this, but what the future of the Fat and Spicy show is, or whatever we try to do from there. But I'll tell you one thing it's not going to be. It's not going to be a media suck fest where I suck up to the right or the left, because both of y'all fucking suck. Democrats, you got no spine. You got no backbone. If you had a spine, you'd go and you'd be fucking trying you hate Trump so much, you'd be out there trying to fucking get him out of Congress day in and day out. Republicans, you have the House and the Senate and the White House. You have everything at your disposal, yet you're whining and bitching over government shutdowns and this is and that's. That's your fault. You've lost the faith of your own party. You know, your own Republicans hate what's going on in Venezuela. They hate what's going on here's and there's and all over the world, and this shit with NATO, and NATO doesn't pay. They don't pay anything. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe they should pay their fair share. But starting a board of peace with some of the worst fucking people in the world, that's not cool. It's just another halftime show. It's just another alternative halftime show. You know, let's watch Kid Rock instead of Evil Bunny. Well, guess what, Democrats? You're doing the same fucking shit. You're like, you know what? We're going to have our own State of the Union instead of the presidential State of the Union that we all should watch. We're going to do our own at the same time so the Democrats can see what's really going on. That's gonna help heal the country. Having your own fucking shit. Why don't you just go to the Congress, sit there? If you don't like what he says, don't clap. He'll see it. And if you do like what he says, clap. That's the State of the fucking Union. Dude, I wish I'm not a president. Trust me. The worst person you want as president. Because I want both sides to work together. You don't talk. And that would be my running point as president. You know, I'm not going to pass this bill without talking to Republicans. And if they don't want to fucking talk about it, well, then maybe we don't do it. I'm going to pass this bill with the help of the Democrats. Well, if they don't want to talk about it, well, then guess what? We're not going to pass the bill. But I'm not gonna sit there and filibuster for 16 hours because I didn't like 2 pages in the bill. Now, both sides sneak shit in. You know you do. You dog your little fucking things in the Senate bills that are snuck in at the last minute and nobody sees them because nobody reads these fucking bills. Not one person reads these bills, but they vote for them in Congress. So what gets done? Nothing. You know, you guys don't want to work. You want to sit there and trade. And this is another thing. Republicans and Democrats both trading stocks. Oh, we hear that we're going to have this guy in for a Senate judiciary hearing because he's doing some bad shit over at Twitter. Let's make sure that we sell or short all of our Twitter stocks before he gets it. Bullshit. If you're a sitting member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, you sit in the House, you should not be able to have a portfolio. You just shouldn't be able to trade on it. It's insider trading. It's bullshit and it's criminal. It's all criminal. Both sides, man. Both fucking sides. Now, the thing I give to Donald Trump is he's out there doing it in the open. I'm going to gouge the American people and I'm going to raise the fucking crypto. And if you want to get a pardon, send me 2 million crypto. He fucking says this shit. At least he says it out loud. He's not lying about that because that's what happens. So you got to give it to him. Democrats, grow a fucking spine. Do something. You have a slim minority. And I don't mean shit to you. You can't step up and fight. The Republicans step up and fight, and they fight hard. Dude, as much as I think Kristi Noem is just a Barbie doll bitch, I just don't like her. I think she's a terrible person. No wonder she's had 3 husbands because I couldn't live with that woman. As much as that is, you come to Congress with a book of insults instead of answers. How do you think that makes you look? Not only to the Democrats, but to your own party. Because a lot of the Republicans came out and they're like, maybe she shouldn't have just insulted everybody and screamed at everybody. Maybe if you sat there and answered a couple of questions wholeheartedly with all of your heart and said what you meant, maybe, just maybe, people would respect you a little bit more. But now even the Republicans are like, maybe she shouldn't be here. Maybe we need somebody else in here. You know, maybe you stop wearing your fucking cowboy outfits when you're going to deport people. It's not a party. You know? But you got to give her credit. She stuck by her guns the whole fucking time, Kristi Noem did. And while I don't like her, I think that's great of her. It shows resolve. She's like, you can't shake me. Just like, what's the press secretary's name? I forgot her name. Anyway, she'll go up there and they'll ask her the simplest question. Does Donald Trump think that this plane is too expensive? You know, Donald Trump has been working tirelessly for the American people. He's doing A, B, C, D. Has nothing to do with what they fucking asked you. Can nobody in the press, even the Democrats, can't do it. You ask a Democrat a question and it's, oh, well, you know, Trump's doing this. Biden did this. We don't know how. You don't know anything. None of these guys know anything because they're not doing their jobs. So what's the answer? Should we have term limits for senators on both sides? Maybe you can only, like the president, maybe you can only be a senator for 6 to 8 years. Maybe you can see 2 presidencies. That's all you get. 2 terms, 2 4-year terms. You get 8 years. And the Supreme Court shit, that should not be a lifetime appointment, in my opinion. I just don't think it should be because, you know, what happens if we fill it with Democrats, right? If the Democrats get all of the Supreme Court justices in a couple of years when they all start retiring or dying or whatever they want to fucking do, right? Come on, Clarence Thomas, you are a piece of shit. You know it and I know it. Right? You're taking luxury buses from people for votes. You're off on these expensive vacations that you never report. But so are the Democrats. I'm not saying it's one person, but he's the one that's kind of focused out there. You know, you had the thing with Anita Hill back in the 90s where he put, you know, pubic hairs on her sodas and shit. You know, is this the kind of guy that really needs a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court? No, but because he's a Republican, the Republicans put him in. It's bullshit. I don't know if it should be a vote. I don't know. Okay, so I get it. The president gets to load the Supreme Court with whoever he wants, Republicans or Democrats, but it's a lifetime appointment. And when you got one set of people fighting just for this and one set of people fighting just for the other side, nothing's going to get done. And that's the problem with our government. I think they like not getting anything done. I think they enjoy being stymied all the time. I think they like having a bottleneck, because it means they don't have to do anything. They can continue to get paid, show up every day in your suits with your little congressional button, sit there in Congress like you give a shit, go do your insider trading, go fuck your mistresses, get on Grindr while you're out there promoting Bible values, take the, honestly, let me ask you a question. Do you guys really think that it's good to put the 10 commandments in every school? I'm an atheist. I grew up in the church. But my parents paid for that, right? They paid for that education. They paid for me to be indoctrinated into the Christian faith. I don't think public schools should have religious shit in it. I remember one day I was back when I was a kid. I was still into the Christian thing, hardcore. I'm watching Sesame Street, and they're like, nature grows, and they were showing plants and running streams and shit, and they're like, nature never stops. Nature will find a way. Life will find a way. And even then, I'm like, well, where's the God message in this? How about praise God in this? Because I was into that at the time. Well, the more I grow old, that's not fair to put God in there, because not everybody believes in it. What about the Muslim kid watching it? Or the Jewish kid watching it who's like, what's a Jesus? Because they don't believe in Jesus. The Muslims think Jesus was a great prophet, but not the Lord, not the Son of God. So why does this have to be put into everything, especially a religion that has nothing to do with the religion it was founded on? You say Christians, you say Christianity, right? But you're taking money away from people. You're taking food away from people. You're taking and now, do I sound like a communist? Yeah, fucking probably. But if my neighbor next door is hungry, I'm going to bring her a rack of ribs. I'm going to bring her a fucking meatloaf or something so she can eat. I'll bring her a steak. I don't give a shit. I want to help the people around me. This whole helping people around you is so far gone anymore, because everybody's so self-centered. Everybody's got their own YouTube channel that they care about, their own TikTok channel. Nobody's worried about the person next to them unless it causes anger so you can get views. Can't you? It's just, it's overwhelming. And at 48 years old, when I grew up without a TikTok culture, we had 3 channels. We had 4, actually. We had CBS, NBC, ABC, and then the local channel 12, right? And that was it. And if the president was talking, your whole night was fucked, because nothing was on TV. It wasn't all about me back then. It felt like it was more about what's coming into us, how can we absorb it, and let's go out into our community and work hard, right? Because we had those booming 50s and 60s and the 80s where we were making money. And the 80s were a little self-centered, but we still felt like reaching out, we still tried to do our best. That's when we came up with a lot of these social programs to help people, is back in the 80s, because we had a lot of money back then. We had money to do blow and to have our tips frosted and ice baby. We had that. And it was cool. And it wasn't about us. It was about the world growing. Global is the first McDonald's opens up in China in the 1980s or some shit. And you're like, wow, we're reaching across America to the world to grab hands with another country, hold hands and become a partnership. And you'd think the internet and social media would make that better. No, it's just driven a bigger wedge between us, because every cocksucker with the fucking opinions on there, posting somebody else's story, or not telling you the truth, or screaming. Or I called a woman out on TikTok today for laughing about something that was absolutely tragic. Trump got caught today doing this with a young girl. That's fucking funny. It's not funny. Why do you put this shit up there? Because people want to hate somebody. And I'm tired of the hate. I'm tired of the power struggles. I'm tired of the power problems, the title of today's fucking episode. I mean, in the words of the great Reverend Rodney King Jr., can't we all just get along? I know that wasn't his name. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying. Can't we all just if the guy next to you is hungry, give him a crust of bread. You don't have to give him a whole fucking sandwich, but help the guy out. Be nice. Be nice on TikTok. Be nice on Twitter. You don't got to call everybody out for every little fucking thing they do. Life isn't that bad, guys. And I'll prove it. You're watching me on your phone, more than likely, or on your computer, or your laptop, or your flat screen TV on your PlayStation 5. Right? You're going to go out and you're going to get your fucking McDonald's tonight. You're going to DoorDash, Wendy's. You're going to have a fucking hot meal. There's a lot of people in America and the world that don't have that. but we'd rather be self-centered and hateful instead of reach out and help. And the ones that do reach out and help are almost afraid because they're like, am I doing this for the social or am I doing this for myself? You almost question yourself for your good deeds. Am I doing this hoping I get likes and clicks and views on my TikTok? Let's fucking hope not. You know, I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe that's not true. I like some of the stories the Bible tells, and I like the lessons the Bible tells because the Bible tells it has some great morality, has some great stories, great parables that give you keys on life, especially for people back then that didn't have a lot of that. Right? And one of them was love thy neighbor as thyself. We don't do that anymore, man. All we care, you know, you don't put a bag of money in the offering plate and blow a trumpet. Look what I did. No, you put your couple of pennies in there and you walk out the back door humble, knowing that maybe you help those pennies help somebody. No, we all got to blow our horns now. Look what I did. Look at this. Look at me. Look how great I am. Give me clicks. Give me what do they call that? I forgot the name of it. There's some newfangled term where aura baiting, aura fishing. I don't know. Aura farming. Look how great I am. Everybody love me. Stop it. If you are really that great, nobody would know who you were. The best. What do you call them? Donations, in my opinion, are the ones that say anonymous. Just go help somebody. I don't need to know your name. I don't need your name in the newspaper. I don't want you on TikTok or Twitter telling me how great your $1 million donation was to this country or this company or this foundation or this charity. Just go do it. Just give them the money and walk the fuck away. Enough of this shit. Enough about making this world about me. What's the last thing I do before I sign off? Thanks to all of you, not to me. I'm a schmuck. I stopped writing down what I'm going to say every day. Here's my page. I sat down last night to write Anson in the morning. Here's what I got. It's blank. Nothing. Because I'm tired of trying to write shit that's going to get you guys to watch. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to get views and clicks. I don't care. You can listen to me. You don't have to. If you like what I say, like, follow, subscribe, because that's how I keep doing this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Look, it's a dirty business. It really is. You're always pimping yourself out. You're whoring yourself out for likes. And look, there it is right there. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Any button that says like this, follow this, subscribe this, click it, man, because it makes me a couple of bucks. It keeps the studio going. Now, am I being greedy? I don't think so. I use this money that we make to, Jacob gets it. You know, the staff gets it. The people that work with us get it. It's not me. Help them out, you know, maybe throw them a couple of ducks. I don't know. I don't know. Look, we got, oh, that's the wrong one. Where's it at? We got a bunch of shit. Look at this. You can go to our YouTube channel at the PNS Studio. This is where you see all of our content. You see everything that we do. And see how annoying that is to have to listen to that every time, but we got to do it, right? I don't want to have to. Every time I watch a video and they're like, so here's what happened today. Blah, 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 blah. But before we get into the story, don't forget to like, follow. That's when I scroll up to the next fucking video. Maybe I should like, follow, and subscribe, help these guys out. But I can't when your news is bullshit. And that's the other shit. Look, I don't know if you guys know. Of course, you know. This is all green screen, right? Look at that. Right? So I'm on TikTok and I see people like, here's Donald Trump, and they show a picture and it's all faded out. Like the green screen isn't catching their video. Can't you fix that? Can't you give a little bit of I don't know, pride in your production value? At least I tried to make something that looked good. You know, I show up every morning, my hair's combed, you know, I got a fresh cup of coffee here. My desk is clean in the studio. The floors got swept before the show this morning. I mean, I see guys that do these streams or they're announcing the news in their car. Why do you have to TikTok out of your car? What the fuck is that? I don't want to see I want to see you take some pride in yourself. Or like there's this new guy. He's got a big old beard and it's like half colored purple. You can still see the white on the outside where he just didn't quite get it. Dude, you look like an asshole. You're 60 years old and you're screaming the news with your purple beard. Do you need clicks and likes that much? Is your opinion so popular that you can't take an ounce of pride, comb your hair, make yourself look good, come up with like a half decent fucking background over here? Make sure that your mic is in good working order and that everything's good. I even make sure that my earphone thing goes around the back and hidden so you don't see the cable. That's how much I take pride in my podcast, in my content, in my production values. But nobody on TikTok has this anymore. Let me stream in the bathroom. Let me stream out of my car. Look at me. I'm walking through the airport. I have to give you this news while I'm walking through an airport. Yeah, you're so fucking important. You're walking through an airport. Go fuck yourself. Take a minute, sit down. If you really have something to say, present it professionally, clearly, concise, and then go fuck yourself. Until next time, I'm Anson. I'll see you next week, guys. I love you. I appreciate you guys being here. Out.